Hey there, welcome back to TBH Video Journal. I'm Michael Middleton. Appreciate you joining me. One of the things that I've realized after years of filming hunts is that a lot of times I'll go on a hunt or an excursion or whatever, and I'll get a lot of footage. I'll capture a lot of action shots, maybe some B-roll stuff, and then I get back home, and whether it's work getting in the way or family responsibilities, or maybe I just can't tell the story the way that I want to tell it, or I get back and realize I didn't capture exactly the right footage that helps me tell the story that I want to, maybe not enough B-roll, maybe not enough description, and I get back and for whatever reason I just never do get an edit on that hunt. And so a lot of times days will lead into weeks and weeks into months, in this case months into years. I went on a hunt back in 2014. In fact, it was November of 2014, so 3 years ago this month. Had a great hunt with a group of friends and coworkers. I had just started work at a company called Drill Formance, selling PDC drill bits. We did a team building exercise, and we had some presentations. Had one of our customers there who's become a really good friend. We did some presentations there, and then of course we took advantage of the opportunity to hunt in the morning and the evenings. And so I got back from that hunt, and for whatever reason just never really even put anything together on it. So I wanted to go back and basically relive that hunt. I went back and looked through the footage today, and I want to share that with you. One of the things I didn't do is I didn't get enough description footage, and so rather than just letting that sit on a shelf and never do anything with it, there really is some pretty good stuff there. I'm just going to kind of walk you through the hunt as it happened, and take you through the weekend, and just kind of show you what we ended up with. Okay, so we got to the ranch on a Thursday. I hunted a place called the Owl Stand on Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. One thing that I remember is crawling up in that tree and the shooting lane being straight out from me. It made it hard to draw. It was kind of a small stand. I was up high. I didn't have a safety harness, and so even if something had come in Thursday afternoon, I don't think I would have had a chance to draw and shoot. But on Friday morning, I went back out. I took a safety harness. I strategically cornered some shooting lanes where I felt more comfortable taking a shot. Sure enough, Friday afternoon, I had a bunch of different bucks that came around. I had one really nice 9-pointer. I had a real big brute of a mature 10-point buck that came in. He was an old buck. We were there to shoot management bucks and does, and so I didn't want to shoot that buck. In the process, I had sent the lease manager some pictures of the deer that were coming in. We had a group text going, and so I was sending pictures as we went along, and of all the deer that were coming in. And I had a 9-pointer that came in, and it was kind of hard to tell. He looked kind of drawn down. I couldn't tell if he was old deer or young deer or what, but he was really hard to judge. But the manager, Chris, sent out a text and he told me to shoot that old deer. And so I had a little bit case of mistaken identity. I thought he was talking about the big giant 10-pointer. And so I lined him up, and here we go with that. All right, so in hindsight, I'm actually thankful that I missed that buck, because we got back to the camp that evening, and we were kind of sharing the stories, and I was as I got to talking to Chris, I realized he wanted me to shoot the other deer, the 9-pointer that had come in, and that I had a tough time aging. He wanted me to shoot that deer, and I mistakenly thought he wanted me to shoot the 10-pointer. And after we talked about it, and just thankful that I didn't take that shot, he did give me the green light to go ahead and shoot that deer if he came back in the next day. But either way, I'm thankful I didn't connect, because that was not the buck that I really had permission at that time to shoot. I don't think Chris would have really given me too much grief about it, but I don't want to take that chance. Later in the hunt, I had a doe that came in, and I went ahead and took advantage of that, and here we go. We'll take a look at this. So I got a little bit of redemption with that doe. She came in, she lined up perfectly on the corn that I had. She probably wasn't 15 to 18 yards away. I went ahead and ran a jackhammer right through her, left a heck of a blood trail, just like the jackhammer seems to always do when you make a good shot. She was easy to trail. Got back to camp. Several different hunters had taken nice management bucks, so we just had a really good time Friday evening, and I was thankful to get a doe on the ground. Okay, so Saturday morning came, and really I had a lot of cows that hung around, and so I didn't really see it. I had deer that filtered in and out, but nothing really exciting. Saturday afternoon, went back out, and I had the buck that Chris had wanted me to shoot originally, and he looked up behind him down the road, and here comes a big giant hog. So boar came in, worked his way around. He had kind of winded a little bit, then went around the side, and then I heard him back on my left side, and here he came in right into the same shooting lane that the doe was in yesterday, and here's how that progressed. So the hog ran off. I felt like it was a pretty good shot. Thought I heard him crash back down in the creek. Was going to give him a few minutes before I went and trailed him. Didn't take any time at all, and a couple of deer started filtering back in, including the 9-quarter that Chris had wanted me to shoot before. We had some kind of disagreement on whether that was an old deer that was just run down or a young deer, and so it was really hard on me, like I said, to judge, but Chris told me to go ahead and shoot him regardless. Rack wasn't much, didn't look like he had much potential, so if he gave me a shot opportunity, I was going to take it, and we'll see how that happens. All right, so there I got a good shot on the buck. I felt really good about the shot. Now I've got two animals down on the ground within a matter of 15 to 20 minutes, and so I gave them 20 or 30 minutes before I got down out of the tree. Went to where my arrow was, had really good blood on the arrow, had just a stand-up walking blood trail, that slick trick just like it had the doe before. Just opened that buck up, and it was just a stand-up paint bucket pour blood trail right to where the bucket had got. So then I got on the trail for the hog. Took a little bit longer. He wasn't bleeding quite as much, but after a little bit of time I did find him. Just a big hog. He had gone back down in the creek. Actually took quite a bit of effort to get him back to the road. So Jeremy and Chris came and picked me up, and it was high fives all around. I had a nice buck, a doe, and a hog for the weekend. One of the things that we noticed about the buck, just to give you a little bit of hindsight on him, the buck, when I came upon him, he actually had a broadhead lodged in his jaw. And I don't know if it was an errant shot before. It was a mechanical broadhead. It had kind of festered up and infected around his jaw. I'm assuming that that was what was preventing him from eating as much as he normally might. He was really run down. He was an older buck, mature buck, but he was run down and very poor. So obviously for me it was a productive weekend, just like it was for several other hunters in camp. I think Jeremy shot a nice buck. Ethan shot a really good buck with his bow. Matt got a buck with his bow, an 8-pointer, and I think one of our other clients managed to shoot a buck. Actually, another coworker, Corn Dog, shot his first deer ever. So it really was just a really productive management weekend. We got a lot of learning out of it, and for whatever reason, like I say, I just never did put the hunt together. I wish I had taken the time to set up a little bit more and talk a little bit about the hunt back then. I didn't, and so but it gives me an opportunity to get a little bit more content right now during a downtime when I don't have a chance to get out and hunt. I still kick myself for not getting the footage that I need to, and describing the footage and describing the action while I was there. I did a live hunt on TexasBowhunter.com, but I didn't get the video footage that I need. But I've gone for the last 3 years wanting to put this hunt together, and so finally just decided just talk my way through it. And so appreciate you and your patience. Appreciate you taking the time to watch this. I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button if you like it. If you don't like it, you're welcome to hit the dislike. And one thing that I really like is I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the feedback. If you can leave some comments down here in the comments section here on YouTube, feel free to post them over on TexasBowhunter.com, or if you've seen this from Facebook, post them there. I do always appreciate the feedback. Let me know, have you ever filmed a hunt and just never done anything with it. Maybe this will inspire you to go ahead and put something together. Probably heard or noticed, but YouTube has started demonetizing and more importantly putting age restrictions on videos. But we were putting together hunting videos long before YouTube was around, and we're going to continue to do it no matter what the platform is, whether it's over on TexasBowhunter.com like we used to, or Facebook or whatever other platform. So appreciate you joining us there, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.